It's okay if you're feeling crazy. March Madness is upon us. Welcome into the BCU Wildcat Basketball Insider Show. I'm your host today, Nolan Alexander. And today we'll get an inside look as to our women's and our men's programs' approach to coming away with the hardware in Norfolk, Virginia, as both teams play today in the 2019 MEAC Tournament at the Scope Arena. We'll sit down with head coach Vanessa Blair-Lewis for an inside look into Bethune-Cookman's February success, as well as Ryan Ritter for how the Wildcats turn the corner on the men's side. We'll have a roundtable discussion for the three women's basketball seniors, the most illustrious class in BCU history, Angel Golden, Chaz Brown, and Ashanti Hunt. And we'll end it with some love to the unsung heroes of both programs, our training staff. So without further ado, let's sit down with Coach Vanessa Blair-Lewis and get the inside scoop as to how the Wildcats plan to come away with the 2019 Conference Championship. Coach, our favorite time of the month, March Madness. Your team has been so successful in the regular season this year. We've had adversity, but wow, we have overcome so many expectations to finish where we are heading into Norfolk, Virginia today for the 2019 MEAC Tournament. That title's been elusive, but I think this could be the year for your program. How excited are you for postseason play?
I'm really excited. Just like you said, wrapping up this regular season with all of the adversity. Stuff you just could not expect, nothing you could write down on paper, but the way the girls have responded through the adversity has really made this team someone to really be reckoned with in the tournament.
An ultra successful February for your program at home and on the road. Where do you think the turning point was in the regular season?
I think when we got back from the Norfolk Howard trip, you know, it really resonated with the girls that, wow, we're not who we were. We're not who we were slated to be, but it doesn't mean that we still can't be good. You know, and we faced the teams that were in the upper echelon of the conference during those two games, and they kind of really let us know, hey, this is where we are. And so we had a decision to make. Are we going to fold because, you know, we just had adversity, or are we going to rise because I still believe, and this coaching staff believes, we have more than enough. And so we did. And I think after that turning point, the girls kind of woke up that there's no one coming in to save us. These girls that are hurt aren't coming back. So we have to step it up, and everyone was asked to do another half. So to be yourself and another half, we've got to make up a person and a half, everyone.
Who do you think embodied that message the most? You can name more than one if you want.
I will. Angel Golden, obviously, you know, we already had a lot of pressure on her to begin with, coming into a season with everyone healthy. You know, returning player of the year, arrow on her back, main focus of majority of the teams we played, conference and non-conference, and she had to respond with her 20 points a night expectation every night. So with that being said, now you don't have those other key players that could be, you know, they could key on those as well. So now it's even more attention on Angel, and she has responded. But I also think you have Camry Harris, who the freshman out of Suffolk, Virginia, who, you know, if everyone's healthy, doesn't get these amount of minutes, you know, doesn't get this chance to show what she can do in this season maybe. And, you know, we handed her the keys to the city, and it came with a lot. It came with a lot of pressure, a lot of frustration, I'm sure, on her behalf, the coaching staff's behalf, the players, the teammates' behalf, just expecting her to be something that she quite wasn't ready for, but she grew up into being, and she really has been the spark for this team that we've needed.
Your team has played so well at home, especially in that month of February, heading up to Norfolk for the 2019 MEAC Tournament. And it's been a home stretch, not just this year, but the past 4 years, especially for this senior class with Ashanti, who we hope to get back, Angel and Chaz as well. What was it like taking the floor that last time with that senior class, a very special one to you?
Yeah, they, you know what, Nolan, they are all so special, especially where we've come from. You know, each recruiting class and each winning season, the class that went out allowed this program to recruit that and better because of the success. So these girls are a byproduct of the girls that left and won the first championship. So watching them grow up, these girls have always won a championship. Think about that. They've never lost. Angel Golden, the most decorated, winningest player in this program. Can you say, I've won 3 straight regular season championships? Like, it was emotional because it was a lot of hard work for this program to get to this point. And it's one thing to get there, it's another thing to stay there. And we've been able to sustain that victory, you know, that victorious spirit, if you will. And so seeing them walk out where they have not expected anything less was good, not just for them as players, but as for young ladies that are going to go out into the world, that they should not expect anything less than championship mindset in everything that they do.
If you're a young lady watching this and you want to win some hardware, I think this is the spot for you here in Daytona Beach. Coach, moving on to March, and you just laid out what it took for your team to win for the rest of the regular season. What more does it take to win in a conference tournament in which, towards the end of the tournament, you got to play back to back to back?
Yeah, and you know what? We try to tell our girls, it's not unfair. Everyone has to do it. Everyone is going to have to play that back-to-back. So one of the biggest things when you get to the end of the season, especially for us, because we have had to play a lot of freshmen. And if you think about freshmen, last year this time, their season was over. They finished in the early part of February, mid part of February at best. So mentally, they're kind of fried. So for us, we have to get rest. We have to find moments where we can get off of the physical part of the body and maybe just talk to the mental part, because that's the first part to go when fatigue sets in. Sometimes the body is willing, as they say, but the mind just can't. And so we've seen that through some of the latter part of our games in February, where some of our younger kids mentally, it's just been tough for them to stay checked in. So the first thing for me is to get the body rest. This has been a long season. Not that it hasn't been long for everyone else, but longer for us because we've had to ride the back, so to speak, of players for an extensive period of time without rest, without an adequate sub for an extended duration of time. They may come out for 30 seconds and they have to go right back in. So rest is key, but the mental part right now, this whole thing in the tournament comes down to the mental part. The body physically has endured an entire season. It is ready to play 40 minutes at most of the kids who've played that. So it's not the physical challenge, it's the mental part. And if we can keep our mental part focused on just one game at a time, which is what we've done in this conference season, I think we're going to fare pretty well.
And lastly, the field, a bit different this year. Hampton's not in the field, leaving for the Big South, but there's still a lot of strong programs, top to bottom. What stands out to you in the tournament field?
I just think that the seeding is going to be really important. Where we finish up, how we take the floor, what bracket we're in matters this year because, like we said, we've been decimated with injuries. So to sustain a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometimes part of that is just getting that best fit so that you can say, okay, it's about matchups, you know. So some teams are a better matchup, and they may not have a better record, but they're a better matchup for you. And some teams have a better record, but they're a better matchup for your program. So those matchups matter going into the tournament.
Coach, we're excited for the 2019 MEAC Tournament at the Scope Arena in Norfolk, Virginia, and we look forward to watching you and the Lady Wildcats on a run to the tournament title.
Thank you so much.
That's Vanessa Blair-Lewis, head women's basketball coach. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll sit down with Ryan Ritter, the leader of the men's program, and get his thoughts on the tournament. It's coming up next on the BCU Wildcat Basketball Insider Show.
The dance starts here. The 2019 MEAC Basketball Tournament is back at Scope Arena in Norfolk, Virginia. It's 6 days of non-stop action as your favorite MEAC men's and women's basketball teams battle it out on the court for the right to play in the big dance. Get your tickets today at MEACHoops.com, member institutions, and Ticketmaster. March 11th through the 16th at Scope Arena as the road to the big dance goes through Norfolk.
Welcome back into the BCU Wildcat Basketball Insider. We thank you for joining us today as it's March Madness. It's upon us as the Bethune-Cookman men are in Norfolk, Virginia playing tonight to open up their tournament, the 2019 MEAC Championship. We're joined by the head men's coach, Ryan Ritter, with us. Coach, as a basketball fan growing up, now as a Division I basketball coach, there's no better time in the schedule, right?
No question. It's the best time of the year. It's called March Madness for a reason, and you know it's exciting for the players, for the coaches, for the schools. So you know we're all fired up to be here.
This year has been a roller coaster year. There's been adversity that's come up that we weren't expecting with early injuries, suspensions, and this team had to grow a lot. But overall, you wanted to see this team peak at the end of 2019. Do you feel like Bethune-Cookman's playing its best basketball of the year?
I do. You know, I think as a coach, you have a lot of different goals throughout the course of the season and postseason. But one of the things you got to keep up front is you want to be playing your best basketball in March. Mm-hmm. And yes, we've had a roller coaster. You know, we've had our 3 preseason all-conference guys. We missed a total of 42 games. So it's not something you prepare for as a staff. But I think it's very fair to say, and I think we're excited that we definitely feel we're playing our best basketball headed into March.
Two of the big reasons has been the play of the point guard Malik Maitland and your forward Latrell Pope, two guys that weren't on that preseason all-conference list, but as soon as those come out for the 2019 MEAC all-conference members, those two are shoo-ins on the first or second team. What have they sparked your team with this year?
Well, I mean, Malik and Latrell have obviously statistically been as good as anybody, any guard, any forward in our league. But I think just their ability to you know, come to work every single day. You know, obviously Malik had missed 2 games earlier, but Latrell's made every practice. He's played in every single game. He averages over 30 minutes a game. So, you know, night in and night out, you know you've got a guy that's going to be ready to compete. And no matter who's in the lineup, who's out of the lineup, Malik has done a great job of maneuvering and finding out how to get this team to continue to get better and better and better throughout the season.
And he's been aggressive offensively too, in addition to being one of the best passers in the MEAC.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, we always say Malik can score as many points as he wants. He can get as many assists as he wants. It just kind of depends on what does our team need that night. But I think you're seeing as the season's you know, progressed, he's had to take on a bigger role of scoring the ball, and he's been able to do that at a really high clip.
It seems like after every game you talk about the motor for Latrell Pope, who leads the nation, not just the MEAC, the entire nation in offensive rebounds. Where does that motor come from for him?
You know, I think you know, for Pope, it's a kid that's had to earn everything he's ever gotten. And so I think it stems from off the court, on the court. He sees something, he wants it, and he's going to go find a way to get it. And I think that's the way he attacks his life. And that's, you know, good for us. That's the way he attacks specifically offensive rebounding, but just his game in general.
You spoke so much about how this team has played true team basketball, not just using a cliche, but it's been every man on the floor, every man on the bench. Outside of Pope and Maitland, who are some other Wildcats that have truly risen up here in the month of February?
I think specifically in February, I think Chantrez Davis gets, you know, he's not getting as much highlights or press as last year, but he's been by far our best perimeter defender. You know, he's locked in every single night to try to take away their best interior player, and he's very cerebral with the basketball. He helps make others better. So he's been a major key going through February. But I think, you know, in particular, Armani Collins has been a spark for us. We inserted him into the starting lineup in February, and no question we're playing our best basketball as he's gotten more minutes and really been able to give us an outside presence.
Head men's basketball coach Ryan Ritter with us on the BCU Wildcat Basketball Insider as Bethune-Cookman begins the 2019 MEAC Tournament tonight in Norfolk, Virginia. Coach, last year, tough time up in Norfolk, fell in the first game to Morgan State by a single point. Tab almost had that runner in the lane. There's a lot of heartache after that ball game. And I know this team is built somewhat differently, but what can we take from last year and bring it to this tournament?
Well, I think you're right. This team is definitely built differently. You know, at the same time, last year is we had a great regular season, and we had our best player, the conference player of the year, with a 5 or 8 foot shot to win it. And I think as coaches, as programs, as teams, like that's all you're asking for is an opportunity to win the game at down the stretch. And you know, unfortunately, he didn't make it, and we'll live with that. But I think the guys that were there last year. I think it's going to really help them prepare when you get up to Norfolk. You've been in that gym before. You kind of know the routine. So obviously Sufi's getting back to being healthy. Chantrez, Armani, Houston, Dave, those guys know the routine of being up there. So hopefully that gives newer guys, you know, a little bit of familiarity and comfort, and you know, allow us to play really well.
Should the Wildcats win tonight, which we hope they do, they'll have to play Friday and then win that, play for the championship on Saturday. So that's 3 games in 3 days, and sometimes even less than 24 hours with a turnaround. What's important when you're leading this team in just that limited time between games as to how you're going to prepare and approach the next game?
I think there's 2 things, and it's the mental and it's the physical. You know, it sounds very cliche, sounds very easy, but going into March, you know, players make plays, and our guys got to feel great about their game. They got to feel great about their body, and I think, you know, each game is different. You know, maybe you know, we're more focused on film work, on body recovery, but there's 2 things that as we go into tonight and hopefully Friday and Saturday, that our guys got to feel great physically and have to feel great mentally, and I think we're in a really good spot to do that.
Coach, we'll leave you with this as we're joined by Ryan Ritter, who's won the most MEAC games out of any coach in his first 2 years in BCU history, the most wins out of Bethune-Cookman head coach in his first 2 years overall. Off to an incredible start, but what would it mean to come away from Norfolk, Virginia with the first MEAC postseason title in Wildcat history?
Well, I think that's why every single one of our guys puts the jersey on. You know, to be in that one shining moment, to play in March and represent, you know, yourself, your family, your school, your city. So to be able to bring that back home to Daytona Beach and Bethune-Cookman, it would be a heck of an opportunity. I think it'd be really special for a lot of people involved.
Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck in Norfolk.
Thank you very much.
That's Ryan Ritter, head coach for the Wildcats. I'm Nolan Alexander. Stick around. We've got more to come on the BCU Wildcat Basketball Insider Show.
In the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, success for our student athletes isn't just measured by wins and losses, points on the scoreboard, or individual stats. It's also measured by their performance in the classroom, in the community, and ultimately graduation. Our student athletes aren't just playing to win a single game, they're playing to win at life. Because games end, but life keeps on going. The MEAC, educating student athletes for the game of life.
Hey, welcome back into the BCU Wildcat Basketball Insider Show. We're on the road in Norfolk where the Wildcats play tonight against the Howard Bison. And every time BCU goes on the road, BCU can't travel like BCU without the help of some unsung heroes, namely Blake Jackson and Michael Chaffman. Chaffman, a student manager with BCU, Jackson, the director of basketball operations, are a huge part of how Bethune-Cookman is able to travel and keep up with a strict itinerary every time they're on the road. This man is always working. You can see him here having to get all the equipment bags, takes care of the player loops, and what, Michael, 1,000 other things too, right?
Just a couple.
Just a couple. That's Michael Chaffman. So, Mike, a typical night for you doesn't end when the players get back from practice or film study at 8 or 9 o'clock. It's still going until when?
After we get off the bus, it just starts. So night usually ends about 1:30, 2 o'clock after all the laundry's done. That's on days we practice games. If we're in the middle of a 2-game trip, easily 2:30 in the morning.
2:30 in the morning?
Yeah, getting the jerseys done, practice gear done. Sometimes I got to break down film for Coach Cobb. And then, yeah, just making sure all of our guys are fed, having snacks, and all the fun stuff at night.
So you just got everything on your job description, right?
Yep.
Blake Jackson, what's your role at Bethune-Cookman?
My role here at BCU is I am the graduate assistant. I do everything from coordinating travel arrangements to helping prepare scouts, to helping with film, breaking down film, getting extra shots up with the guys, doing statistics as well. So I do basically a lot of different things, and I help out the coaches in whatever capacity I can.
What's been one of your favorite memories or story working at Bethune-Cookman that fans wouldn't know? That's something that maybe happened in practice or on a trip.
Whew. You want to go first or me?
I'll go first. Our trip right before Christmas break to Seattle, we're in the middle of a pretty bad losing streak, and it just got worse, getting stuck in the Atlanta airport. It took us about 60 hours to get to Seattle, and it just made me appreciate the guys a lot more and appreciate the people I work with, because it was not a fun event to get through, but we got through it together and eventually got out there to play a game about 4 hours before tip-off.
I was actually going to give the same story. You know, just that entire trip was it was long, especially for me because I had graduation that day during that trip. So I had to drive from Daytona back to Atlanta just to find out that, you know, we didn't win that day of graduation, and then on top of that, that following day we get trapped in the airport for, you know, 7+ hours, and so we had to go and we had to take a couple of detours. And,
Okay.
You're watching the BCU Wildcat
Basketball Insider Show.
Money! Man, check out the training staff. Hey, welcome back to the BCU Wildcat Basketball Insider. We got two great athletic trainers here at Bethune-Cookman. Theodore Scott is with our men's team. Katie Del Contivo has worked a lot for the women this year. Let's go get checked out downstairs. So this is Theodora, who works with our men's team. Theodora, how long have you been at BCU?
I've been here since June.
So you're pretty new
I'm
here
pretty
for the
fresh
Wildcats.
here, yep.
And you work with men's basketball, any other sports?
We help out with every other sport, but men's basketball primarily.
Why did you get into athletic training?
When I was an athlete in high school, I got injured, and there was an athletic trainer there to take care of me. I played soccer and ran track, and I was really interested in it.
All right. And this month is special for all of the trainers here at Bethune-Cookman. You get some awareness out there. What's this month?
National Athletic Trainer Month.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
have to give your athletic trainer something. A thank you. No.
Thank you. How about a shout out on the BCU Wildcat Basketball Insider, even a segment? How does that sound?
That sounds awesome.
I'd be okay with that. You might need to contact my agent first. Yeah, I kind of will.
How does that feel?
IMDb.
That feels a lot better.
Pull back for me?
Yeah?
Yeah?
I think I can go make 15 in a row now.
15? Not
Yeah.
16? Why are we shooting for 20 in a row?
Trainers are tough here at Bethune-Cookman. Do you treat all of our student athletes like this?
All the same.
All the same?
fair,
Just trying
all
to
the
make
same.
it great.
All right, well, Theodore, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Let me know how that works for you.
Yeah. Oh.
What did you do? Is this the old knee?
Yeah, I think the knee's acting up. Ah!
How long has it been
Ooh, thank
bothering
goodness
you
I'm
for?
Bethune-Cookman.
How long has it been bothering you for?
Like my whole basketball career, like all of 7 days.
Well, I remember you mentioning it to me before. I remember you mentioning to me before back that you had some knee pain. Did it bother you through here?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Did it bother you to straighten?
I think that's okay.
That's okay. What about bending?
Yeah, just a little bit of tightness there. So, Katie, how long have you been at Bethune-Cookman?
Will it bother you here? I'll be here for, this is 4 years now.
4 years?
Yeah,
So
I actually started out as a resident.
Okay.
So.
And what does that mean?
A resident? It's kind of like an intern, almost, but you're still doing all the different responsibilities of a full-time staff member. You travel with the team, and you're still, injury prevention, assessment, maintenance, rehab, that kind of thing. You're still certified and licensed, so.
And you and Theodora both travel with the women's and the men's teams,
Yes.
so y'all are busy all season long.
Yes, well, and technically our whole staff is busy all year long, because what our boss likes to do is he, no matter what sport the athlete plays, whenever they come into the athletic training room, they're your athlete. So we all help with each other's sports. Now, yes, we do travel with our main sport assignment. That one was basketball, but it's me. But we all kind of work as a team to kind of make sure and cover stuff. So, like, I think we might end up doing a little bit of spring football or tennis tournaments or bowling tournaments, or, at the end of the semester we'll be doing the softball tournament and baseball. So, Nolan, I don't think you did anything too bad to it. I think it's just your IT band. It's like really, really tight.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta stretch.
She's not the first person to tell me that.
Yeah, maybe some fun. Yeah. Maybe.
Well, if I can get a little bit of ice, I think that'll be
that's
good
fine.
enough.
I got you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Katie.
Oh,
Look at that.
well, thank you, Theodora.
Gotta help each other out here.
Well, it's that time of year. March Madness is upon us. You gotta look after your body. And make sure to follow Bethune-Cookman men's and women's basketball in Norfolk, Virginia, for the 2019 MEAC Tournament at the Scope Arena. The men play at 8 o'clock tonight. The women are in action today up in Norfolk. BCU Athletics for all the final results. My goodness, y'all are just going to town over here. I am set to go.
By the way, you're
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the BCU Wildcat Basketball Insider. For Katie Delcantino, Theodore Scott, I'm Nolan Alexander. We'll see you next time here from Bethune-Cookman. This is the BCU Wildcat Basketball Insider Show.
Right.